So, welcome, you guys. I just want to spend one moment of happy silence, closing our eyes and celebrating and thanking the spirit and the power of the written word. And if you can just fling your mind back, if you're an academy writer, to when you first applied to the Gateless Academy, the trepidation, the doubt or the excitement, the thrill of getting the acceptance. We went through those applications meticulously, and we think very carefully about the cosmology of the group. And then think about the bumpy road that always happens at the beginning. There are so many moving parts to the academy. It's meant to meet the writer at absolutely every turn in your career. But you guys met it with so much grace, so much enthusiasm, so much commitment to your work and each other and the page. You asked incredibly brilliant questions that really facilitated our movement forward. You came when you could, and when you couldn't, you often reached out to tell me, I'm going to listen to it. And then you reached out again when you had listened. You had so many aha moments inside those seminars, particularly the conflict seminars. It's so natural. And you asked for more community, which is when Kate Baldwin popped up with that brilliant idea of being able to meet as an academy and be in small groups together. And most of all, you showed up to studio and you got to write in community. You got to find out where you were brilliant, where the people around you held talent and skill and craft so that you could learn from them. And then you got to look at your own work through the eyes of a gateless trained facilitator to find out about that genius that you're carrying around, that spark that was the urgency to write in the first place, and that carries this process and promises that if you ride it and stick to it, if you're loyal to it, that it will bring you into an incredible landscape on the other side. So thank you to Terry Trespigio for being the mastermind of studio, for allowing us into those live writing rooms, for the gateless facilitators who are so focused in their attention and so knowledgeable about craft. And to all of you, you have been such an amazing group. We've cried in our craft calls. We've talked about the critic. We've celebrated people's book deals when they finished books. You guys have recognized that actually you're in a genre that doesn't fit you and switched genres. You've finished drafts. You've gotten picked up by amazing small presses and showed us in the Facebook group. And you've been so vulnerable, sharing your work, sharing your fears, and sharing those moments of elation when you really got it. The chapter came together. The book started to form its arc. So as we're sitting here in this first moment of quiet, contemplative celebration, the most important person that you want to give thanks to today is yourself. In a world that does not readily celebrate creativity and following the urges of the muse, you did it. You kept to it. You stuck with these 10 months. Some of you still have months left where you're going to delve into craft, where you're still finishing seminars. That's okay. You learn to trust your own rhythms, become your own editors, learn the industry. And even if you're afraid of it because it's scary sometimes, you're willing to look it in the eye and know that you're equal to it. So, gratitude to the self, for the families that are here, gratitude for you for letting that writer carve out space in their life to do this thing that we love to do. And now, if you have your eyes closed, just open them up. Beautiful to see you all here. I want to give Terry a chance just to talk a little bit about what she saw in the studio from the beginning to the end. Terry, saw the process and the adaptability of craft. I looked at pages and helped people through those stuck places, and we met in the craft room and had just incredible moments of revelation, about the written word. Um, but you and your facilitators really saw the work kind of being done. So I just love to hear from you and kind of what you saw.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, I'm not in all those salons all the time, but these instructors, as you see here, Serena and Daisy and Christina are. And when I am in there, I am always blown away. There's never a time when I'm not surprised. And so I don't know why I'm surprised. I even got a message from Daisy the other day. It was like, the writing was fantastic today. Not that it's not fantastic all the time, but we are continually blown away. And that is to me the difference between my own experience in academic training. I mean, I'm lucky to have had exposure to those kinds of programs. I'm sure I learned a lot from them, but being a reckless and wild and generous writer wasn't one of them. And when you would hear teachers talk about the writing, the people that are in their charge, it was like, well, this person, she needs to work on this, da, da, da. And I want people here to know that what's talked about in our virtual coffee room with the other instructors is just how blown away they are by it, about all of you, your willingness to really go there, to let it all out, to really be vulnerable in ways that we frankly are not when we think we're being judged. And so, of course, when I set up studio in the spirit of everything that I learned from Suzanne, which is everything, my hope was to make it as consistent with the rest of your Gateless experiences as possible, to fit hand in glove, to amplify and deepen that experience so that you could continue to write together, and continue to be working that muscle. And I was thrilled to see how well it worked. This was the first time we did it this way, where the studio, I mean, with the academy students were given access to studio, thanks to Suzanne's willingness to partner in that regard. And I loved it. I know the teachers loved it. It really, you guys raised the bar in the writing in the room. Yes, is that the only downside is that other people get intimidated, but that I say that's just part of it. I mean, it's great to be around great writing. And so, yeah, you did yourselves a service by continuing to write, but you're also providing such wonderful models for people who are newer to it because you're really in, you're really invested in, you're doing it. And as much as I know that those recorded seminars from Suzanne are worth their weight in gold, and I go back to them and back to them, and every time I hear something different, you could listen forever on repeat. And if you don't write a word, then you just know things. But what's exciting is to watch you all hearing it, studying it, and then doing it. Do you know how many people dream of doing it? They almost just love to dream about it, but you really did it and you're really doing it. I hope you give yourself enough credit for that, because you're doing the things that most people really say they'd love to do, but do not have the courage to do what you're doing. Daisy, you were the one who told me the other day that you were just really blown away. Do you mind, Suzanne? I want to hear from Daisy. Just said the other day about like what she was hearing in the room.
Yes. Oh, I mean, every week is incredible. I'm always like, these are the 4 or 5 writers we just like randomly heard from today, but I want to like, hear from everyone. It's like I could pick a different selection. It would be equally incredible. Yeah, I mean, this week I gave a prompt about packing a lunch. And I thought, oh, is it kind of, after I gave it, I thought a little narrow. Is it too like mom packing lunch? Like, I don't know. I wasn't even sure. My own critic came out, with that prompt. But it was like it was like everyone included a lunch, but from different angles. It was like sometimes it was the focus of the piece, sometimes it was just a little thing at the end. Like it just was so many worlds we were brought into. It's just incredible. And I'm like, even my husband wasn't listening, but he was like, "Wow, I could really hear that you were like really." I was just like, "Oh my god!" But it's like that every week. It's just I love to be with you guys. So thank
You
you
know,
for letting
and
me say that.
also, thank you so much, Days.
Yeah.
The thing too is that whenever you say to yourself, as I have, well, I don't have enough to draw on. I don't, do I have enough stories? Do I have enough? We all have that moment of like, is there enough in here? You're like scrambling through your purse. Like, do I have enough? If someone can give you a prompt about packing a lunch and everyone has, and if you were given it again, you come up with another story, we forget what a wealth of stuff. There's endless. When you talk about feeling abundance, what I feel in those rooms is the sense of abundance. You never run out. You will never run out of ideas. You will never run out of stories. And that sense of plenty should fill, right? Make you feel like, oh, I'll never run out of stuff. I can write forever.
That's right. That's totally right. And I think, it's interesting when the Academy writers went into studio and I was with Christina in um, New York, and she said, I like the whole room like exploded because it was like these, the writers from Academy came in and they were just, she's like, I can't believe the level of writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was so beautiful for me to get that feedback. And I don't think, because we have so much to talk about in an academy, that I don't think that I've told you guys how much that reflection came back from studio. And Kate Baldwin, are you here, love? Do you want to talk about your small groups? Because I know you loved everyone in those too, and that it was really fun for you.
Yeah, here I am. And I was nodding along with Daisy, when she mentioned the different worlds that we travel into with the prompts. That's something I noticed over and over again. Um, just how like far flung everybody went with the prompts and then in their own unique creativity. It was so wonderful to get to know you in the small groups. And I have to thank the teachers one more time who kind of came in and helped us facilitate that. I think it was really wonderful to get to know one another. And sometimes we'd even have a minute to chit chat at the end of the feedback. But, I saw people write in so many genres. I saw writers try different genres. I remember one person who wrote in fantasy and then was doing creative nonfiction in another small group. So I just really applaud the courage and the curiosity to try the different genres, to find the voice particular to that day and what she was feeling. I love that so much.
1, 2, 3.
And
Mm, sorry,
well,
Monica, you need to mute. Sorry.
so funny.
So
And no,
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh
Yes.
no, I was just gonna say that it was like, thank you, Kate, for because you guys were asking for more community, which I loved, and that was such a great idea. It was your idea to do that, and then
Well,
to go into sort of the small group rooms with the facilitators was fantastic. And I want to hear from you guys too. I know that people wanted to say things about your experience in the academy and kind of where you were. And I just have to say, I noticed at the beginning of the academy, it was like this trepidation kind of to send me pages and to ask questions about the manuscript and to move through a little bit and talk about where you were. And there would be this kind of freeze of like, should I ask Suzanne a question, and like, do I even know my question, and can you just tell me if this is good? And then as we went along in the craft, you guys, your questions were just so masterful in terms of the sophistication of how you were looking at your manuscripts. And I know right now that some of you are feeling like teary that you're leaving, because I've gotten so many emails about it and I understand. And what's so incredible about what you've learned is that it's going to carry you through your whole life. I mean, some of you will come back to the academy again and again. You'll be in studio, you'll be in this community, and the craft that you we're learning is just, it's going to get deeper. It's a relationship that you have. And it's so satisfying when you come to me and you're not sure. And then the next time you come, you're like, oh, I get this. And with Gateless too, at the beginning, it's like, how am I going to do this? Can you just tell me what I'm doing wrong? You know, it's such a default. We're so used to it. But you guys just took to it. You know, it was like you got on the Gateless mare and you freaking went. And it was so exciting to watch you say, like, oh my God, I get it. I get why we're not looking, you know, focusing there, that we're really just learning this craft and learning what I'm doing. And seeing your work in progress was amazing. Like when you would send me chapters or introductions, or you would send me queries, or it was so fun to be with you inside the manuscripts and inside the process. And I just want to thank the people that were brave enough to do it, to put it up in the craft call so we could like get in there and really talk about what was happening with your work. It was really thrilling. So I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to talk, because obviously we could talk about how much we love you all day long. But I want to nod to the people who have signed up, or you know, who have decided to talk today. Um, and just for the families that are here and the friends and the people in the larger Gateless community, welcome. We're so happy you're here. And we're just, you know, we're talking about these 10 months that the writers have been through to create their manuscripts to become sort of what we think of as geniuses in the written word, learning the craft, learning how to put the manuscript together, how to sell it, how to write on demand, and how to integrate all of what they're learning into what they want to publish. So, Charlotte, are you here, sweetheart? Charlotte.
Hi.
Hi, and I know you have a cold, so I don't want you to
Yeah.
have to strain yourself, but I know you.
Oh, no, fine. Yeah, well, I mean, my experience with the Academy's been amazing. I like came to it already having recently like published a book, and I'd been working as a lifestyle journalist in Australia where I'd been living, and I sort of came to the States like with a book under my belt and the sort of job that I'd left. And I felt so bad about myself and my writing after those experiences. It was bizarre. And coming to Gateless and coming to the Academy sort of allowed me to like return to what I actually wanted to do, which was write fiction and relax into the sort of genre of the fiction space as well that I wanted to write in. And it's brought a lot, you know. I feel like I've kind of reconnected with my own voice, and in that I've written a full draft of a book. I've written half a draft of another book. I've got a third book kind of bubbling. I'm about to start editing, like, and I've really regained my confidence. And I've also recently like re-entered a in-person fiction writers thing, but I feel like I have the confidence to do that now because I'm like trained in this. And so when they get criticky, I'm just like, I don't need to listen to that. Like I just don't even worry and just sort of take the good and leave the rest. And yeah, so it's been really, really incredible. And I love the way the Academy as a sort of program has enabled me to really integrate the Gateless teaching as well. I love the way it's structured. I love the audio seminars. They work really well for me. They can sort of slot into your life really easily in that sense. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But I do have a sinus cold. That's like all
Well,
I can complain about.
I know that you were so prolific this year, so it's thrilling to hear about, you know, what you've created. And Charlotte's also a Gateless trained teacher, so she might have been in one of your small rooms during the All Academy Salon. But Charlotte, thank you so much, honey, and I'm so glad that after that experience that you had with journalism and the last book that you're back at it, baby. And feel better. I know you're going to Europe tomorrow, so I hope it clears up. Maybe you'll have like an overnight clear up or something. Anyway, I adore you, honey. Thank you so much for that. And Teresa Cantley, are you here, honey?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi, are your parents here and your husband and everybody?
My husband's here. I think my parents, I don't know.
Right.
They probably couldn't figure out how to click the link. So
Aw.
they're they're fine. But yeah, my husband's here actually. Um, but Gateless was I actually came to Gateless from a friend of mine, Denise Solar Cox, and she had told me how amazing the program was, and I ended up I had a conversation with you, and then I joined, and this the book that I'm writing started off as I it started off as a promise to my best friend before she passed away, that I would write this book and I would get it out into the world. And I put it off for 4 years, and I started Gateless because, and I think part of it was there was something inside me that just kept saying that I'm not a writer, based on past experiences, and this isn't going to work, and a lot of inner critic. And I started writing the book. I joined Gateless, and I started the book in February. It's like February, like late February into early March, and I have 2 chapters left of it's for my first draft, and then the first draft is done. So, and through this process, I've uncovered a lot about myself. I've really kind of looked at my business because I'm a business consultant, and, by what I do. And I looked at my business and I said, I think I'm doing kind of the wrong thing. I think I need to refocus what I'm doing and have it align with like really what I'm talking about in this book. And I didn't want to write just another normal, dry leadership book. I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to read more memoir, or really be all about my own experiences and stories. And that's really the way that the book is turning out. And I'm just like, I'm just really proud of myself. And I think, um, my best friend up in heaven, I think she's been with me this whole time, really guiding me. And I think, you know, asking myself, what is it that I really want to do? And as I told you, I really want to be an author. So, but there's just been so many lessons. I mean, I've told you, Suzanne, I tried to go to every studio that Terry had. I tried to go to the studios that I was always in the morning on Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. with Daisy. So she was great, and super helpful. And yeah, it's just been like a hugely transformative experience. So yeah.
And Teresa joined a little bit later, when we were sort of, it's always hard for me to close the academy when people are like, I want to come, and I know that their writing is very strong. And she wrote her book, her draft, in like 4 months. I mean, I think that's like divine intervention. I mean, when we talked about it, I was like, oh my God, okay. But what was cool is that, that receptivity around the gestational, like, okay, now I'm gonna put it aside. I'm going to go off into my journals and sort of talk about how this is affecting me and what's happening, because that's going to also be integrated in the final. It's really beautiful to hear about your experience. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Your energy
Thank you.
is just amazing, and you're such a hard worker, but also your work is just phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your guidance, and thank you for all of the people that are in Gateless and everybody's support. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's been great to have you here, sweetheart. And Dimpna, are you here, sweetheart? I know you wanted to talk today.
I'm here.
You're here. Hey, lady.
Hi.
Dimna
Um,
already has interest in her book, which is very exciting. And she just got a piece in, was it the New York Times?
yep.
Yeah, that's really great. It's
Yay.
fantastic. Publication cred. Anyway, love, I got your email and I definitely want you to talk. So take it away, sweetheart.
Well, first I want to thank all of the teachers and everyone who just demonstrated like the most profound kindness um, throughout the whole academy. It was just such a, I don't know, loving and supportive environment. So I'm honored to share my delight with all of you. So I had a very complicated relationship with feedback, um, as long as I can remember, but very much so to my training days in medicine. And hearing things that I did well wasn't something that I was used to or accustomed to. So, the way we learned was see one, do one, teach one, or, the you get publicly shamed. Like it was just, it wasn't nurturing in any way. And so um I think this was just, I don't know how to even describe it. It just shifted everything for me being in Gateless, being in the academy. It like opened up the world. Um, because to have things that were highlighted that were positive, it was amazing. And um, to have that space where what's working was highlighted and elevated, I mean, I just I couldn't have imagined that I would take to it at all, but also what happens when that's the way it's framed. And it was beautiful to see like the forward momentum of each other, and the safety that was created in all of the spaces really allowed me to not just show up to write, but to speak more freely and vulnerably. And that was, I think, why I I think that changed everything for me. I'm certain that's how I ended up finding my aligned agent. And I know it's how I ended up with the byline because I found my voice and I wasn't afraid of being criticized for it. It was a very powerful mindset shift or reframe. So I just have to say thank you.
It's beautiful, Dipna. And it's interesting that you found, yeah, you got the biggest byline, really. Everybody wants the New York Times. And you got this, aligned agent, and then you're still making it bigger. Like when we talked the last time and we talked about like, wow, this is a global book. You were like, okay, and I think there was some way that you just kept saying, yeah, okay, yes, and like I've never, and it's so mirrors what you're doing in the book, and sort of that flip that you had to make from doctor to patient, and then this flip that you just made in terms of
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm going to be willing to be inside this really different process, and you just shown. I mean, it's just amazing. The material that you're creating is going to change lives in a huge way. It's going to change my life and everybody else's. So we
Thank
need you
you.
right now. So thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to have you here, and thank you for wanting to speak. It's so great to hear your voice. Okay, and I don't know if Jillian's here. She had a really big arc in the academy. There she is. Hi,
Yeah.
love.
Hi.
So good to see you.
Hi, so good to see you. I had surgery yesterday, so I wrote something, if that's okay.
You look beautiful for having surgery. Yes.
Thank you,
Glad
Ilya,
you're here.
serum, whatever. Okay, what did I learn from Gateless? I don't know. I will say that I'm a different writer, though, on the other side of it. It's confronting and elusive, and I'm still not sure how to explain it to friends. It's an academy that creates a community and access to craft modules and calls that have forged the path before. But none of that gives an inkling of what had actually changed inside me. At first, I struggled, unable to tether myself in this new system. It was so different than my recently completed MFA. And then early on, I was able to talk to Suzanne in person, and she said, no wonder you feel this way. Send me pages. I'm here for you. But it wasn't like X amount by X days. The onus to show up in this program was on me. I wasn't led along like a dog getting a treat every time I submitted pages. There were not notes in my margins. Good job, nice, love. Instead, there were great shifts in my writing. I had to show up like an adult, wanting, desiring, being honest with what was working and what wasn't in my writing. And I knew during the academy, I learned that I knew. Here, I learned that to better my craft, I learned to better my craft, not better my ego. I no longer sent in notes for a gold star, but to sort out the complexities of a specific craft element. Suzanne often unlocks doors and then points to the keys that I've had the whole time. For instance, I finished my first draft within the academy, and I struggled with editing the early pages because they were cemented by time and far inferior to my later work. Rewrite them, she said, like it was nothing, and fireworks went off. Most writers can't imagine the beginning of their books until they write their ends, she said, like it was nothing. After 10 months in the academy, I feel like this could actually happen. Like I have the tools to sell my book. I mean, that's all I wrote, but it's like I just feel like I'm like I was kind of infantile coming into this, like that, you know, I went and was downloading all the modules this morning and there's like a pep talk one, and I remember that one. It's like very confronting because it was like everything that I was feeling like I'm not getting anything from this and like this isn't working for me. But it's because like I really genuinely wasn't in I didn't like I wasn't coming here like an adult with my writing. Um, and then once that sort of shifted, it all changed. And, you know, I'm like midway through editing like my first through the first, and I just feel like this is like something that can happen. I do feel very scared that it's ending, and I'm like, you know, I'm a mother to young kids, and I realize like writing and motherhood are two of the loneliest things you can do, and so, you know, I needed this community, and I need this community, and I still can't explain what it is, but I need it. Um, and so that's where I mean, there was incredible growth, and I feel like the writing is like grew exponentially from when I started.
Yeah, yeah. And it was so beautiful how you were so willing to explain to me when you were feeling, you know, sort of those feelings at the beginning. Like I felt like we had a real transparency around
Yeah.
that, and it was okay to have those feelings. And then, you know, as I got to know your work, I was like, oh, this woman is going to be more than fine. Like you know, you just have the talent of a fiction writer. We will see your book on a shelf. We will see it reviewed. We'll see, you know, we'll be going to your, you know, we'll be reviewing on all the things and going to your book launch, virtual or
Great.
otherwise. It's happening. And I think once we understand that we can just be in that power of the page and who we are as writers without feeling like there's some lid on it. You're right, it's an adulting thing. It's like there's a sophistication there that you came into that was already there, but it was just like, oh, I think I'll wear this dress now and I'll really own my own power as a wordsmith and as a novelist. So it was really beautiful to see. So I'm so glad you talked today. And
Thank you. Just really quick, the other thing about the critic is like it's, you know, she's still there, but she's like come so far. Like in the last craft call, I asked a question and you literally just said no. And like in every craft call, I've never seen you like answer a question that short. So at first I was like, she hates me, she doesn't like me, like my writing's terrible. And then I was like, maybe she just answered the question. And it's like that's all I needed. And like I didn't need anymore. But it was just funny to have like both those experiences at the same time.
yeah, yeah, it was so clear. It was like, oh no, you don't need that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm grateful, and everyone's work in like the salons that I was able to go to was incredible to listen to too. So
And it's a feat to do motherhood and writing, and yeah, just applause for everyone who does that. It's really hard, especially if you just went through surgery. Good luck, honey, resting
thank you.
with it, and yeah, let your LA Gateless family know if you need anything. Okay, we're all there for you. Okay, mwah. I just love you. I adore you. Okay, let's see who else. I know that Stephanie Green has been in the academy. She was in it before and then she came back. And I think that's a really interesting perspective. Like she took time off and then she returned. So it's so great that you are speaking today, Steph. Where are you here, Lovey? Oh, there you are. I see you. I'm going to put you on speaker view so I can see you.
Well, as Suzanne said, I came to the Academy a few years ago and was blown away by just the whole shift from um, what we've all been trained in academia, whether we get an MFA or not, especially if you did well in academia, it could sometimes mean that you were really good at people pleasing and you were really into the carrot and the stick. And, so shifting from that, the first shift was, yeah, I am growing enormously by giving and getting positive feedback on my writing. I'm learning to look for what's strong, and that was really great. So I went traipsing off and found a pod, and we did that for a while. And I realized that I couldn't talk about craft in any deep way yet. So I came back, and the word that keeps popping up in what everyone says is exponential. It's just amazing to see, first of all, and well, just how impeccable everyone is in the way they respond. And, it does allow you to grow up and step away from that punishment reward model and start finding agency. And I realized that the thing I want most in the world is to be a good writer and a good editor, and to understand when something's working and why, and when something isn't working, to be able to take it apart without taking myself apart or another writer apart. And so that has been, it has just been so valuable to be around that kind of opening up, and to open up myself, and to learn to show up. It's a very new way of being. And I I firmly, and I really encourage anybody to come back to the academy, and I will be coming back again, um, because it does just get very mathematically exponential as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into the process. So thank you so much, Suzanne and everyone.
That was absolutely beautiful, Stephanie. And Stephanie just asked me about training as a teacher, and you would be an incredible teacher. So we have to talk further about that. But I just want to commend you, because what I love about your story is that you did go out and sort of see before you came back, like, what is this? How is this moving in me? And then you were curious, and you would sometimes reach out to me. And then when you came back, it was like somehow you came back with like the whole writerly self. And
Mm.
what you're writing, one of the reasons that I'm so glad that you came back, Stephanie, is that I'm so in love with this character that's the main character that you've been working with. I mean, she's just somebody that I want in my circles. Like, I know she's fictional, but it's like she's so great and real. And she's like an Olive Kittredge, but of a completely different stripe. And she's funny, but she's tender in her own way. And it's like there's a strength there that I think is different than the strength that we're told to have, like on social media and everything. Like, we need her, we need her complexity, and we need her transparency, and the way she kind of blurts things out. And you know what I mean? Like, it's so great to have had her back in the fold with us. And I loved when I got to meet her again. So I just want to like nod to Gladiola as well as you. And I adore you.
Gladiola says hi.
We love her so much. So thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you,
Stephanie,
sweetheart.
I'm so happy you're here. And is Melissa Dugan here? She wanted to talk too.
Hi.
Hi, love. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. And I can't wait to
You.
see you this fall on retreat again, honey.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it. Um, I just wanted to say thank you to you and Terry and everybody else. I found the academy through Terry 3 years ago, and this is my third consecutive year. But I found the academy not long after I had a diagnosis of a visual condition, and it really changed over the course of the 3 years. It really changed how I was feeling, and even how I was writing. I went from writing the book in the first year to revising it in the second and third year, and I'm almost done. Not quite
Yay.
there, but very close. But I was very afraid that first year that I couldn't do this, and I was very much living in everything had to be now. And that changed a lot. I've let go of that, and I found that I'm now even living in a space where I thought to myself the other day, hey, I've written an entire book while this is happening. No matter what happens with the book, I've written a book while this is happening. And uh, it was life changing not only to write an entire book, but what's happening with my vision at the same time. So I was very grateful that all I found from you and everyone else, both in the academy and everyone participating, was absolute acceptance. And that very much worried me at first. But nobody blinked an eye. It was just sheer acceptance. And it was really nice to have that.
Well, we adore you, and a lot of us know you, the teachers from being in retreat with you, Melissa, and just your story is, I'm so glad that you asked to talk, because your story is, there's so many ways that we can excuse ourselves from the creative. And you just went ahead and did it. And I remember that first phone call that we had with each other when you just found out about the vision. And I think we both were crying.
Yes.
And I remember just thinking, like, it's so fantastic that she's going to go and do this, that she's just going into a brand new landscape, no matter what's happening physically, she's still going to do it. And we work together kind of on all those ways of how to access the materials and the portal and everything. And you taught me a lot about that, about accessibility. And yeah, I feel like also the work is fantastic. We loved it whenever you read. It's such a great book. And people are going to love this book. I mean, we were all
Almost
saying
done.
it at retreat. We were like, when is she going to read again? What's going to happen next time? And we all felt that at the academy too. So, and the adaptability of craft. You just been amazing, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being in the community and
Thank you.
sticking with it no matter
I'll
what.
see you in October.
I'll see you in October. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And Katie, are you here? Yeah, there she is. She's not on camera, but Katie Suckerworth, baby.
Hi,
Hi, love. How are you?
I'm good on this rainy day, but I kind of take it. I kind of like it when the mood shifts and it adds a little dynamics to the mix, which, wait 2 seconds in New England and you've got that. So
Yeah.
I I have a message for everyone who is, you know, who new to the academy this year, did their first round. And the reason I frame it that way is because I meet a lot of people who in their bios are like, yeah, this is my third, fourth time during the academy. And when I first joined this community, I was like, why? Like, why are you doing it again? And now I'm like, oh, I get it. This is a community that grows with you as you grow, and it's very nourishing, and there's always something new to learn. I specifically want to speak to anybody who might feel like, oh my gosh, 10 months went by and I didn't get it all. I wish I had done this more. I wish I had participated in this more. And I just want to speak to the fact that you did everything right, that it's all on the right time, that the lessons and the tools that you've learned now, things are going to get integrated in different cycles and seasons of your life. And what happened in these 10 months, 24 months from now, it's going to come back around in a new cycle, in a new integration, deeper and richer. And you'll be like, oh my God, yeah, I understand this on a whole different level now, and I'm practicing it, and I'm showing somebody else how to do this. And that's why, you know, one of the most beautiful things about Gateless is that it gives you all of these callbacks to remember who you are, and these lessons that, you know, unlock the things that are already in you, to the point where, you know, students go, I don't need Gateless, because the whole thing is, yes, you can fly on your own, but I'm always going to want it. I'm always going to want to be in the room. And I was talking with another, Gateless community member a while back, and we were kind of talking about, when you go through tough times, the swing between, you know, my tendency is to be a complete loner and drop off the map and just isolate until I'm through the storm. And then I pop back up and I'm like, oh, and I'm back. And I used to get really down on myself for doing that. But now I have all these tools to use on my own, and I trust that I can, and then I can return. But I also have this new option of of trying and dipping back into the community when I'm really struggling, when I feel really vulnerable, and practice that too. And it's super nourishing and safe. And that, not a lot of, not everybody can create that or guarantee that, especially, online and in person. So when I say safe, like, believe me, as somebody who's struggled to regulate their nervous system, I mean, safe. I feel like I can come back to this during different seasons of life, um, and just always be nourished by it. So, if anybody's out there going like, I didn't do enough, or I need to go back and like download all the seminars, and I just want to be like, I've got you. Like, that's normal, and don't worry. You learned so much more than you thought you did, and it's all going to come, and just trust the process, and trust yourself.
It was beautiful. Kate Suckerworth is a Gateless trained teacher as well. She trained last fall. And Kelly's saying, we love you, Kate. We love you so much. And your work just blows the roof off whatever house you're in. It is unbelievably strong. I mean, we were just like genuflecting to you during training and all during this second academy and your first. And you were absolutely born under the star of the scribe. And that to know that you call Gateless your literary home is just like so humbling to me. And I'm so happy to have you in any room at all. I love you. Thank you so much, love. Is Jessica here? Jessica Cantor from Brooklyn, New York.
I am here. It's weird to be called from Brooklyn.
I
It's only
know.
been 6 months.
You did that during the academy while writing a book.
I
Agents.
yeah. I have my kiddo in the background, so I may get pulled away.
That's
But
okay.
I'm screen positive, I think is what I'm supposed to say nowadays, that I'm pro screen time. So when I joined the Academy this year, I had just finished my first novel and I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, I have a book, and is it good? And
it's such a oh my god.
The minute I start talking, what's months? It's time. Okay. Let me just finish this, sweetheart. Okay. And so I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know how to edit my phone. It did start raining. And this has been how I wrote and edited my book.
While you mothered, while you moved to a new place, while
I moved, I rebuilt our whole life, and I found my next book. And it's been such an interesting process to learn how to read myself, I think. Sweetheart, can you watch the show for a few minutes? And yeah, so that was, the the interesting part of coming in was right before I joined the academy and started working with Suzanne, I had talked to another like editor consultant, and she started giving me advice on how to edit my book, and I was going to completely change the approach to the storytelling, and it had no basis in what I was writing. It didn't come from anywhere. And all of a sudden I was like, I just like, you know, when you go on Google Docs and just revert to an old draft. So I just reverted to the original and started from there in Gateless, and realized that it was more a deepening into the characters and into the world, and trusting that it didn't need to be more than it was, that she maybe just wasn't the right editor for this book. It wasn't going to be a thriller. It's going to be a mom-com, you know, and so it was just, you know, she didn't get where I was going or what I was putting down, and didn't try to, which was the interesting part. It wasn't about like what I wanted to say. It was about what she thought would sell. Um, and so I think like and I still like, you know, I feel like it's fitting to go after Kate, because I'm like sitting there while listening, downloading modules, being like, I need to listen to them more. And I do want to go through and listen to them all, because I felt so distracted, and I'm excited to go through the academy again, because I am just in a state of distraction. But the other part was just starting to approach my next story, and doing it from just writing in studio and seeing the patterns that came up and what I wanted to write about and how it was coming. And then I was like, oh, is this going to be autofiction? What does that mean? And then I decided to go back to the character modules and spend some time building who these characters are going to be outside of myself. And then going back to, and now it just feels like it's flowing. And so I don't know, sweetheart. Do you want to go look for it? I'll help you in just 2 seconds. So I'm excited. I'd like to try and get a draft down before I start the next academy in the beginning of the year. Because it like, now I just need to get what's out on the page and then shape it again.
It's been
Anyway,
so
I'm
great to have you
happy
here.
to be here.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
been amazing to watch you move mediums. You know, Jess was in the film world, and it's been just incredible to watch you move mediums and move into fiction, and just your love for it and your passion for the work. It's been lovely. I loved meeting you in New York, and I know we're gonna like hang out a lot more in there once we're not in a heat wave anymore. Heat
Yeah,
wave summer.
I started a walking book club.
Oh,
So
I'm
if
coming.
anyone's in Brooklyn,
We're gonna do it.
yeah, I like put it out in a few like mom groups here, and I got 42 people signed up. And so there
Wow.
are readers who want to read all of your work. So I
Oh
can't
my
wait. And when your books come out, I'll make sure I book club
God.
them.
Oh, you are awesome. Thank you, sweetheart. I want to walk with you guys when I get back to New
Yes.
York. That'll be so fun. Thank you, honey. And
Yeah.
then love to your son.
Thank
He's
you.
adorable.
Thank you.
He's just so cute. Miriam, are you here, honey?
I am. Hi.
Hi, love. How are
Hi.
you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You've had such an arc with Gateless from
I have.
I remember when you came to me in Costa Rica and you were like, I don't know if I'm doing the academy right. And then, you know, and you can tell everybody what happened from then to now.
Yeah. I mean, it's been really, truly transformational. When I first joined the academy, I had never read my work out loud or shared it publicly. I've been a closet writer my whole life. And then I signed up to go to Costa Rica in January, and I didn't read on the first day. I was too scared to share my work. And I just didn't think, I was good enough. And Suzanne said to me later that night at dinner, she's like, I let you off the hook today, but tomorrow you have to read, and you have to read the rest of the week you're here. And I said, okay. And I read out loud every day, and I got the most supporting, loving feedback on that trip that really cracked something open in me. And throughout this journey, my writing has also transformed, because initially when I joined the academy with my application, it was grounded in my memoir about my family and our journey, you know, with trauma and how trauma and adversity turns into post-traumatic growth. So I thought, you know, throughout the academy, that's what I'm going to focus on. But as I started to write, it's turned into now 2 books with 2 distinct voices. So I've also been working on my book proposal for a business leadership book centered on courage and reinvention. And as a precursor to getting my book proposal out to agents, I started to build a public profile, and I launched my Substack 2 weeks ago. I went public with my social media profile for the first time in my life, and I was really surprised and overwhelmed by the support and love that I received. And my Substack hit number 6 on the rising bestseller chart for business within like the first 48 hours. And I really just wouldn't have had the courage or the confidence to do any of this without this past year in Gateless, without Suzanne, without the Costa Rica retreat, and without this community and the openness that you all have shared in the studio space. So thank you to Suzanne and to all of you for sharing your work to inspire me to share mine.
You are just a miracle. I mean, that is just an incredible story of courage. And also that you do have so many voices inside you, Miriam, and so many stories to tell that haven't been told, and also so much encouragement for others, and this spark of power that you're not afraid to show now. And it will take off. It will be a wildfire. It already is. It was amazing to see you go viral that first week, and to be like, oh my God, this is the woman who sat next to me and said, I don't want to read. I love it. I love you. I just think
Love you. Thank you so much.
thank you for being part of the Gateless West Coast LA family. It's so, I love coming out there and hanging out with you.
I love it when you come. Come more, please.
Okay, I will. I'm coming soon. I'm coming in November for the training. I'll hang out with you guys then and your beautiful kids. Oh my God. Thank you for talking, honey. And is Sherry Kaplan here?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, hi, there you are, honey. I
Hi.
know you're a little nervous to speak,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
love that you gave me that email. You're like, I know this is last minute, but I kind of want to talk. Of course you can talk. It's been such a joy to have you. Kate Baldwin has said to me on a number of occasions, like, I just love Sherry. I love her work. So you've been talked about behind the scenes, and yeah, we adore you.
Well, thank you for that. Um, so this was my first time through the academy, and I will say it has had a profound influence on my writing, of course, but also I think that's true to say also on my life. And I'll point out here that my sister's here and my husband is here and supporting me like they always do. And just love them so much for coming. And I'm just so deeply grateful. And I wanted to have the chance to say that I'm just grateful to have been introduced to Suzanne and this extraordinary program and the entire Gateless method. And I catch myself a lot of times, sometimes when have been in other groups or whatnot, and I just in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, thank God for Gateless, because I'm hearing other critique or whatever. And really just the very real community that it fosters. Amazing people I've met and been inspired by in their words, my God, their words, and have befriended on. And I would say, like the writer that I am now, having been through the program, and I still have so much more to do in seminars, it's just I'm a much more confident one, and one who knows that my lifelong writing dreams are possible. Like I'm continuing to work on my manuscript, this memoir. I launched my Substack in early June on my birthday, like 2 years after 2 years of wanting to do it, and where I'm like finally sharing my work with a wider public audience more than just an Instagram caption. Or so I'm doing the thing and the things and all the support, the incredible seminars and Kate salons, and her just appreciating and validating that like these stories that I talk about with my cats, these rescue cats, are important and will mean a lot to people. And Terry's studio, I actually started in studio before jumping over to Academy here. And Heather's correspondence, always like so reassuring and like prompt. And I mean, just like she's been amazing. And just truly has led to a breaking through some of these I think, self-protective boundaries I've created around my writing. And one particular thing I wanted to say and to acknowledge is in the live craft calls with you, Suzanne, even if you weren't answering like my question, I always felt like you're talking directly to me, the way that you drop in to your center and your intuitive genius just always comes through. And you would speak directly to the camera and I could feel it in my heart and in my gut. Like I could feel it. And I knew it was also meant for me. And when your words like confirmed my own thoughts and processes, it allowed me to know, yes, I'm on the right path. And it's just magic and so much confidence from that. And I cried like more than once on those calls listening. And I would just say that Gateless, it just offers a safe, productive space from which to create. And like, I don't know if I will quote myself, but the title, the working title for my memoir is Soft Grass. And when I talk about like landing on the hard earth of life's grief and pain, having that soft place to land, and for sure Academy is that soft, safe, creative place to land when you are doing the hard work of sharing your story. And so just thank you for every morsel of an ounce of goodness this experience has given. It has truly been so special, and I hope to be back, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Oh, we just loved having you here. And I felt like a lot of times you would ask your question, like sort of at the end. I mean, for someone with such enormous talent, you have just incredible humility. And it would often end the call, when we had all been together for like 2 hours. And then it would be like a Sherry Kaplan question that would just break us open. It would just be like, this is really the heart of where we're going with the work and what the work does to us. Publishing is like a byproduct of it, and of like sort of this community that we build, this family that we build around wanting to write, around being willing to articulate the story on the page. And you would just go right to the heart of it. It's really incredible to have you in the room. And I just want to say, like, give you some Gateless feedback for that title. I'm going to tell you why in craft that's a great title. So soft grass is great because immediately the body feels what soft grass feels like. Like it can be like when you're lying on it or in the feet, we smell it. Like as soon as a title gives us it can tell a story, or it can be like My Last Innocent Year that tells a story. There's like, oh, intrigue and mystery. Or it can be something that feels in the body, like, oh, I can feel this. I'm never going to forget it. So it's just it's just like your writing is. You just always seem to pick like the perfect word. So congratulations on a best-selling title, and we all love you so much. Oh my God, I'm so glad you sent me the email saying I kind of want to talk, because I was like, oh, good. I'm so happy she wants to talk. And I think, Volley, you wanted to talk too. Am I forgetting? Am I
Yes, yes,
thinking?
yes,
Okay, good. I,
yes.
I was like, oh my God, am I calling on her? And she actually didn't say that to me. Hi, Volley.
Hi, good to see you. Good to see you all.
Great to have
I
you.
feel so grateful. I can't tell you. I feel so grateful on so many levels. And so many things have been said I resonate with and I agree with. I felt incredibly safe. And I was really touched because I felt drawn into that first retreat. There were so many quickenings around this first retreat last year, and also felt drawn into Academy. So there's something I want to point out that's really touching to me, this relationship you bring, Suzanne, of the relationship to spirit into something very concrete, very down to earth. And I had many moments of where tears came listening to the seminars, listening to the craft calls, where I felt, yes, I'm realizing things. I've written a lot. I've even, it gave me orientation. The seminars gave me orientation where I am or how this can potentially work. I had no idea before, as I come from a very different artistic field. And maybe the last thing I want to say, I mean, I loved studio. I loved the community, the quality of the writing. I received so much from the fellow writers. I feel also very grateful to all of you. It has really given me so much. That's to celebrate. And the last thing, I worked on a performance piece last year. Then I joined Academy. I completely was drawn into writing, and I came back to the material like 3 weeks ago, and I realized my whole relationship to words has completely changed. And even in a performance realm, I feel it's in the how to be with words, how to embody words, how to it's really amazing. So I've generated a lot of material. So me too. I'll come back to Academy, and I'm really looking forward to follow this process. I felt so held, and so thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was so nourishing and so fun to be in it. Yeah,
Yeah, I loved having you
very.
here. I love just everything about your work and how available it is to seen and to truth, and how you move around medium so fluidly, Vali. I mean, it's so inspiring to be with you, and sort of you do this in the world geographically as well. You know, you're in the south of France, you're in Paris, you're in Greece, it was really cool to watch you create from these different places and in these different mediums, and know that you were moving into Gateless in this very profound way. And Vali also is asking about the teacher training, and you would be just an amazing Gateless facilitator in all this work that you're doing in the world. So I'm so happy you wanted to talk, and I'm so glad. I just am so glad you joined this year. It was this so cool when you said you wanted to come.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. And I'm going to look for Sarah Burden because I know she wanted to say something. Is she here? She's driving.
Hello, can you see me, hear me?
I can hear you and I can see you. Hi, baby.
Hi, I'm driving, so you shall not get eye contact. I'll be looking at the road, but I'm glad to get a little spot of service to be with all of you. I just wanted to pop in and say thank you, Suzanne, and to all of the writers this year. This is my third Academy, and I've been with Gateless for a decade, and I think this is our 10-year anniversary. And it is so profound to me to feel how the Gateless method is just always working in the background of my material and my process and my book and me and everything that I offer. And it was so powerful to come to this particular academy after finishing my transcription and being in some version of a first draft, and to come back to those seminars years later and to be hearing them in a holographic way, in a really different way. And I got something this year around like the agency of what it is to understand craft from the inside out in a way that I haven't before. And I mean, it's my second or maybe third pass through those seminars, Suzanne, and like what you are channeling and what you are giving us is truly so profound. And I just I just am so grateful, and to just be in the company of the writers in this space, to feel that company even if I'm not coming to anything live for an entire month. I can feel that I have been a part of this container, and that I am a part of the Gateless community, that is always there with me as a writer. And I also just want to thank you, Suzanne, for like, I am continually just so blown away by the way you meet every writer in every single moment that we are in. I have never, not one time, heard you give a canned response. And to hear you answer literally the same question week after week, month after month, even from the same writer, from me, and to have you feel in every time, to be like, okay, what is this? What am I sensing into right now? Different than when you asked this question last week, last month. It's just, you are so gifted.
Thanks, love. That's just, yeah, there's no better thing that somebody could say. And it's true. It's totally true. Yeah, I just yeah, it's very rare, right? That the facilitator gets seen. So it's intense, and I can feel the movement inside that you guys must feel too when you say that. And I'm just super grateful just to be with you, to be with somebody who's willing to ask the question again, and again. It's just a privilege for me. And for you to be in the room and to be willing to come back to Gateless, no matter where you are in your life, and your life has changed so much in these 10 years. I mean, you've just been like really the from where you were when I first met you on that first call, and to where you are now, where you recognize like, holy shit, I'm in a channel, like, what do I do with this? How do I manage this? What is this fire that's coming up in me and moving onto the page? It's just incredible for you to stick also with your own writing, like you want your facilitator to stick with you. You're also doing that for the work. You're not saying it's too much. You're not being overwhelmed by it. You're constantly trying to find ways to be inside that work and to move that work and to do justice to it and to stay with the truth of it. And you're in that you're the steward of those pages, and you're asking, how do you want me to work with you, even though it's not an articulated language. You have to feel the energy of it. You have to figure out what it is. It's huge. It is huge because you're huge. You just have so much inside you, and the energy that you carry around. I mean, everyone at the retreat was just like, holy shit, Sarah Burden. And I think when you come into a room, that's very evident. And to try to fit that all into a book is like, is book the right technology for such an incredible energy. So I love that you wanted to talk, and I'm just so happy to have you in any Gateless space that you come to. Sarah is a Gateless trained teacher. She's been in multiple retreats, and yeah, this is her third academy, and I can't tell you how seminal you are to the Gateless community and how you're really a wheel hub. We love you so much, honey.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Suzanne, for what you give us.
We love you. We love you. We love you. Christina Dexter says you're an angel woman, and you are.
Mm, thank you. Love you.
Love you too, honey. Good luck on your travels, wherever you're going. You're going to
Thank
Colorado?
you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, have fun,
Thank
and
you.
we will talk soon.
Yeah.
Mwah. I'm so glad that
Mwah.
the service gave you a little
I know.
hug.
I didn't think it was going to.
I know, but of course it did.
Of course it did.
Okay.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Thank
Truly.
you, honey. Thank you for that beautiful soliloquy. It was just gorgeous.
Mhm.
And you guys, I want to tell you, like, I always want you back, but also we have the symposium coming up. It's completely free. You can dip in any week. It's really fun. Most of the people are Gateless trained teachers, or they've all been in the academy, sometime or another. And so we want you to just come and feel free to bring your questions and to like soak it in. You know what I mean? And I'll be there. I'll do one on the critic. I'll do one on the sale. So it's sort of your bridge. If you're doing the next academy, it's your bridge to that academy. But you always have studio. You can always join studio. If you're wondering, like, I'm not sure about the academy, that's okay. You know what I mean? You can write in studio. Terry's there, those teachers are there, and they want to be with you. And I don't know if Christina's still here. I have a little pied a terre in New York, and Christina is one of my roommates there. And I love her so much. And she's doing this very cool thing every day where she's writing, and she has, I just think it's awesome. Are you here, love? Or did you have to go? I think she had to go. So basically, she's writing 1,000 words a day. And she was telling me, like, oh my God, this is amazing. I just, carve out this thing. And then, in 17 days, I have 17, 2 weeks, I have 14,000 words. And then in a month, I have 30,000 words. And that's, more than a third of a book. So you know what I mean? Like, sometimes we could just put these things in place. Like, I'm going to try to go to studio every single time this month and see what happens, and write my tail off. And those pieces, you could do whatever you want with those pieces. You can cut off the head of it and cut off the tail and use the middle and just take the dialogue out and use that. And You know, like it's such an elastic craft. It's so malleable for you. So you really, really have found gold. Writing is never going to leave you. That's what's so amazing about it. It's a best friend, and it's like the therapist that is never going to get tired of you, and you don't have to pay it. You know what I mean? You just get the journal from the drugstore, and you get a pen and you just start writing. And when you go into studio, then you're writing with other people. And then things build. They just do build. And suddenly, just like an oak tree finds its way, you'll find your way. The book will find its way. It'll start to form patterns. And oh my God, maybe this is a chapter and I have a scene. And oh my God, I have these characters and I've been working with them for a while, or I know what I want to write my memoir about. So I think it's about just that, the tenacity and going back to the critic. Whenever you feel doubt, whenever you feel the constriction, whenever you feel like you need a key in order to open some rarefied door that people tell you publishing is, you just go back to those critic exercises and you dispel the myths that conditioning gives you, that society gives you about your own art. You have the agency to do this, and now you have the craft and the community and the network. You have everything you need. Don't you dare let someone tell you that you don't now. You gave this to yourself, and it is always, always there. And when the veil comes down, you have that first module, and you just go back there and you do those exercises, and you will break through. It can take a little while, but when you break through, it's up to a bigger place with the art, with the work. So I think your academy was incredible. You guys are just, you're dynamite. And I want you to always know that even if I seem busy and all that stuff, I'm not that busy. You know, send me an email. And if I don't see it, then send me another one and be like, hey, I'm bugging you again. I love that. Everyone does that. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good. It's like break through the noise and know that I want to hear from you and I want to hear what you're doing. But mostly I'm so glad I got this opportunity to work um, with all of you. Does anyone else want to say anything who's been in the academy this year?
This. Hey, it's John.
Hi, John. I was hoping
Hi.
you'd talk. I didn't know if you sent an email maybe to somewhere else, but I was like,
No, I didn't. So
okay.
this is spontaneous.
Okay, good.
So I had a little trepidation coming into this academy, and the reason is that Suzanne, you mentioned this recently on a craft call, that maybe in the pods they were a success for maybe 1 to 2% of people. Really, really, really. I was one of those 1 to 2% of people. And it was just, I think it was just good fortune, and placement and timing. And so what I missed, what I was concerned that I would miss, was that sense of community, and also being able to really get in with into people's work, because I love doing that. And what I found was that, I put this in the chat, that I found for this academy that I loved having studio as a part of this, because it is about the writing muscle, right? And it is about generating. And there were times when I wanted to generate, and so those were great, for that. The Kate's salons with the small groups gave me some of that intimate, smaller number of people, um, a bit more intimacy, which I thought was absolutely incredibly wonderful. And what really what really came to pass was that, and I've done this before, but I really did it this time as well, was connecting with other writers and actually exchanging work some, and reading and commenting, and getting to know other writers, which for me is the value, one of the primary values of this, that sense of community that is unlike anything else I've ever really experienced, because while because it's writing, and writing is infinitely opening if we allow it to be. There's so much to it. The written word it just takes us places that almost nothing else can, or it takes us places in a way that only it can. And that has been so powerful for me. And so, as someone who's been through 4 academies now, I can say that I think this the portions of this model are with, of course, all of the luminary calls and the seminars and things. I think this feels like a more sustainable kind of approach than perhaps the pods, certainly than the pods were, because those were just, people's lives are busy. So it is I feel, I love being made aware that my trepidation that I came in with was something that was proven to be just concern on my part that ultimately ended up being not valid. It's been a great experience for me. So I just wanted to say that because we've spent some time talking about pods and those kinds of things, and this is a different way of doing things. The other thing I would say is for anyone who feels that, okay, so now I've generated and generated and generated, so what? You've generated. And now if you want to play with those things, you can edit them because you can't edit what you don't write. And what you'll begin to see, because this has happened to me over and over again, is that when I begin to look at those pieces and just kind of glance at them now and then, not maybe I do a full blown, deep dive, or maybe I just do a glance because I know what the piece is. I begin to see themes and I begin to sense arcs and maybe a sub arc that I can play with. So it's a thread that I begin to sense. So that writing was never wasted. And if I can keep those things in an archive somewhere that I have easy access to, that can be so incredibly helpful. Just putting them there with a title that triggers my recollection of what I've written, because there's a magic that occurs there because no writing is ever wasted, in my opinion. Anyway, I love you guys.
We love you so much, John. And thank you for being such a leader in the room and feedback. I mean, not only are you a phenomenal writer, and you are, but you're a phenomenal speaker. You're an incredible facilitator. You stay curious. You're an amazing human being. And I feel so lucky that Terry shared you with
Me
me.
too.
I love you so much. And
Me
it was so
too.
fun to just, yeah, get to know you so well this time around. And John's going to train as a teacher finally, finally. I
Finally,
haven't
finally,
said
finally.
anything, but I've always wanted you to. And so I'm so happy you'll be at Joshua Tree, and he's moving to Costa Rica, and we have a whole Gateless
Yeah.
contingent there.
Yeah. A whole new book.
Yeah, a whole new book. Oh my God, totally.
Not just a chapter, a whole new book.
A
Yeah.
whole new thing,
Moving
honey.
to Costa
Thank
Rica.
you. We love you. And you've been such a guiding light for so many people who were new here. And I got a lot of feedback about you. And just like I love John Lincoln. I'm so glad he's here. I mean, I know Mariska and you had this like major love affair. But beyond that,
And then there's that. Yes.
and then there's that. Yeah, but so great to have you here. Thank you for talking so much.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to keep you guys all afternoon. You know that I would be with you all afternoon because I love you so much. I just have to tell you how much I would look forward to being with you. And I couldn't wait. I would be like, oh my God, I can't wait. Like for a luminary call, I knew you were just going to be so gracious, but then like really good at asking questions. And then when Heather would start to create the document before a craft call, I would just be like chomping at the bit. Like I couldn't wait. I was so loved reading your stuff. And then I would get on there and we'd like, it was so great when you guys finally felt really comfortable to just talk it out with me. And I felt like we got this intimate family going. And I want to thank you. And I know that it's really hard to get people together in the same times. And I just want to thank like the people in Europe and the people who were like doing drop off in California. And it is just, it's so wonky, and I'm sorry if the craft calls, like I was trying to like manage studio, but I was also trying to manage people who are on long weekends and I really apologize if there were a lot of times that you had to miss, but I just want to tell you, like, if you listen to the craft calls again, you'll get that energy. I think, you'll tune into it and remember that like you're part of the community, even if you're not live, we consider you part of the community. And I want to give Terry a chance to talk because Terry, you have a free week of studio coming up, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
We are. And so for anyone who, obviously you guys who are in Academy already know, but we're going to be doing a free week. It's the first time we've done it where we just open up the whole thing for August 11th to the 15th. And you can basically, if you're already in studio and you're already a studio member, do not register. You already have access. And I'd like to keep this clear so I know who am I meeting who's new. So if you go to terryjuspisha.com/free studio, you can sign up, you'll get all the information. And then not only will you get to experience all the different studio teachers, but I'm also adding in 3 other sessions. So I'll start the whole week on Monday, I'll close it on Friday, and we're also going to have Chris Young teaching on Thursday. So that means a session or two on Monday, and a session every day that week. You're not expected to come to all the sessions. That is crazy. The only reason we did this is so that there's lots of opportunities for you to drop in, come once, twice, whenever your schedule allows, to see what it feels like. Now, I know a lot of you are not new. It's not your first rodeo, but you may not have sat in there and just tried it. And I encourage you to try it. So it's going to be, we're hoping to meet a lot of new people who might tiptoe in here and then will decide they want to do the Academy. You know what I mean? Like Suzanne and I have really, I'm very proud of this sort of collective community that we've been able to build together. We just want to make this more accessible. That is the reason why I do it. I want more people in there so that we can afford, frankly, to offer. My goal is to have sessions every day, but we're not there yet. So if you want to come and invite people to come, anyone is welcome. Thank you, Suzanne.
Yeah, Terry, thank you. It's so great to be able to write together. And I love this idea because we're going to be able to write with a lot of different people, which is very cool. And then there's like these other times. So yeah, I wrote it in the chat. I'll also send it to you guys so you have it after the call. Send it to you and I'll make sure that you have it. It's a really nice thing to do. If you haven't joined Studio, it's really something to try. It's amazing. It's sort of the Peloton of writing, of Gateless. Thanks, Terry. I remember when Terry was going to do Studio and she was talking to all of us teachers and she was like, I don't know, like I'm not sure my coach is into it and da da da. And I was like, I have a feeling that people are going to love
this.
Yeah,
me too. I told everyone to shut up. I said, I have a feeling, everybody, be quiet and trust me for a little while. I said, I think people are going to show up for this shit. They are. They love it. I love it. We create what we want, and that serves us, right? So we want to do it. And thank you for helping me, for giving me such a tool to take out into the world.
Yeah, and Serena's here. She's one of the teachers. I'm trying to unmute her. Hi, love. Hi. Yeah, how are you? And you're such a great teacher. People talk about your teaching and your writing a lot. So I just wanted you to say hi.
Well, it's such a joy. Such a joy to be here. And the incredible writers in the room are just inspiring every week.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, I'm just so honored to be here with everybody. And thank you to Suzanne for bringing us all together and Terry for starting the studio. I mean, it's just this community of writers but not just that, the tools that were given to then create everyone's unique genius and voice. I mean, that's what makes it so powerful, is that each person is getting stronger in their own way and offering their unique gifts to the world.
She's being very humble. Serena also helps run this thing. Serena's helping run the studio. She's doing the newsletter. She's getting the stuff out there. So thank you.
Yeah, and she helps to run the symposium as well. She's been instrumental in getting that off the ground. And yeah, I have so many people that I want to call out right now, but I know we have to go. Natalie Schrieffer's on here, who is an incredible editor. I mean, there's just so many people. You guys are an amazing group. Monica's here. She's a Gateless trained teacher. Carly Lederer does all our social media. I mean, yeah, it's an incredible community, and I'm so honored that you guys decide to either return or come for the first time. And please don't be a stranger, like reach out now. And some people will reach out and be like, I wish I got this or whatever, but it's really great also to be gateless about the experience and really realize how much you've accomplished in these 10 months. And if you don't say it to me, saying it to yourself is just, it's gold for how the writing can improve once you realize that you have trust in yourself to make these decisions for your craft. So I love you. Mwah, mwah. Go well, stay in touch. Let me know where you are, and I want to hear from you. Don't be strangers, and I will send you a replay. And thank you, Terry, for that free week. That's going to be so fun. Bye, sweethearts. Thank you to everyone. I adore you.